Hey, you know my name. Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Ovi, and today in this video, we're going to get nice and cozy, and we're going to talk about a lot of little things, including that last video I did almost a month ago. So we're going to recap what I've been doing and going over a few points, but as you probably have seen from the thumbnail, uh, I'm I'm gonna say, yeah, there is gold to be made. Not much, but we're gonna go over the things that you can do to make a little change here and there, and let's put some positive into this whole negativity as far as crafting goes or gold making goes, because there are some um bright spots. Not too bright, but in darkness, any little flicker is good, right? So we're gonna get into that. Like I said, I'm gonna give you a little update, and we're gonna get cozy. So if you're just here to get the information, quit it. I mean, you can. I'll probably put chapters you can skip to. If not, put me in the background. I'll probably put a few things here and there, and I'll probably draw attention to them to when you can look back. Otherwise, sit back and relax, and let me tell you a tale. Alright, so in my last video, I was pretty negative as far as professions and gold making goes, and I still stand by what I've said. Actually, I think it's going to get even worse now with the new news that, with the new news, what the fuck, look at me talking. This is what happens when I don't have a script. Anyways, the news that people are going to be able to submit orders without, all the materials, and that's just going to, make even more headaches to this, disaster of an expansion feature. I even somebody did like a week or to like alert you when like let's say they don't put up the metal. There's like a weak aura that you can, if you know Mantheus, you can go to his Discord. There's a guy there that posted it somewhere. Hopefully, I'll put it in the link somewhere. But stuff like that, we're gonna have to use weak auras to see what they, if they send their metal or what materials they're not sending and stuff like that. Oh my god, it's gonna be a shit show, but that's where that's going. Anyways, so I did my video, and it took a long time, and I wrote the script, and I tried to do the best I could with my oration, but I'm just rusty. I think I talk a lot better when it's just off the cuff, and what I'm thinking. But like I said, I still stand by what I said. This professions is not easy. I think it wasn't a complete failure, but it was definitely a significant failure. You can attribute it to probably development time, or just people not really understanding what they were trying to do or achieve. It did look, when I saw it in the beginning, I did think that it was going to be good. But I really got a little nervous when, yeah, let me go have a seat because this is gonna take a while. when I started seeing that, they released the stuff in the beta like 2 weeks before launch, and I'm like, okay, well, this is not enough time. Only the most hardcore players, the people that had the time, could play it, and then probably people that actually could have, gotten a little more insight or to put it out there, didn't get the beta. So that was the thing. So, in this video, what I'm trying to do is try to do a little bit of 180 and find the bright spots where you can still make some gold. Not at anything that I've done before, amounts of. This is just going to be a little trickle, maybe just to scratch that itch if you still want to feel like you're making some gold. Because there is some pitfalls, and there is an exchange that we're gonna have to do to make some gold. But for those that might be wondering, my absence since my last video, which is almost about a month ago, I got sick. I got that human ransomware or what, virus thing going around, and I was out for wow, I think almost 10 days. Not that I was out completely, because by this time this is like my third bout with it. But this one hit me a little harder in different areas, and I was like, man, my voice is completely shot. If you follow the community here on YouTube, you would have seen my community post that I put up. And then I was just not feeling it, really. I was burnt out on this whole profession thing. So that was that. Anyway, let's get into, once we got this update out of the way, let's get into some points that I want to touch upon. If anybody else wants to make some gold, some money, some sort of income for your tokens, for your pots and pans, whatever it may be, here are some tips, or here's some things that I've gotten some insight in the past few weeks that I've been messing around with professions. So here we go. Well, the tables seem to have been turned as far as which professions are making the most gold. Initially, I would say that all the gathering professions were making a friggin' killing, right? And even to very recently, they were, I would say, making even the most, especially with a lot less to do with all these quests and stuff, just gathering materials and selling them. Now, with that said, I think there's come a point where materials are very, very cheap, and if you really push it, you can probably make 10K an hour, and that's doing a lot, right? I was doing it in the beginning because it was my, I was just leveling the character, and you just get experience by, harvesting the nodes. So that was all fun and games, and I actually enjoyed it, because it was the new evoker, I should say, and just flying around and doing all that stuff. So that was pretty cool. But now that I, tried to do that as making gold, it got tiresome real quick. I started getting frustrated because, especially, you have to do the nodes to get all the items that you get for the knowledge points, which definitely help because you want to get those higher quality nodes, right, to the rank 3s or minimum rank 2s to get the most value from the stuff that you're selling. And that can sometimes be hit or miss. You could be harvesting node after node after node after node, and these things would just not drop. Even with a file, a perception, even with being an evoker, they just take forever. And sometimes the one you want to get, you don't get it. You get it for like herbalism. Like, I don't want to get herbalism anymore. I want to get mining. Speaking of which, I think as far as the gathering ones, skinning just took a dump right in the beginning. Only those very few things that you could get. I don't know if it's the scales or the hide that are like a lot more valuable. Those are good, and every like rock fang leather I think is also pretty good right now, and some other little different things. But as far as skinning goes, I think that's the lowest one as far as gold making. The next one will be herbalism because pots and all that kind of stuff and all these other reagents still going to be done. But I think mining has actually surpassed it since you can get the Kazgarite, and Kazgarite is that's the sweet spot when you're out mining. That's what you want to get. You want to get that perception high. You want to get all those points into that to get the most out of mining. But this is not a mining guide. I'm just saying as far as gathering goes, it's flipped, right? Now it's the crafting that's starting to make some money. Now there's a huge asterisk with that, in that you're going to be parked in Valdrakken. That's it. And you're going to have to either bark in trade chat saying, hey, I can make this, hey, I can make this. And there's times, this is what I've partaked in since I stopped gathering, just barking in trade chat. And sometimes you just feel stupid because you're just, constantly posting and nobody sends you anything, right? I've actually found more success in actually whispering people that say, hey, they put in trade chat, hey, I need such and such thing crafted. And it's funny because literally seconds ago, somebody posted, hey, or whatever, they're a blacksmith and they can make everything to 418. Whatever, advertise it. They just advertised it, right? And then you put the player puts the post, hey, I need, an armor, a blacksmith. And then the funny thing happened is that right after that happens, like the dude's like, oh, a customer, he probably just didn't see my post that I just put 3 seconds ago. Let me put it again, and you'll see the same guy post again, and that person is waiting to be helped. I don't know what players are, but they don't seem to want to engage. They just want to say, hey, I need somebody, and they want to be catered to. They want to be addressed and acknowledged. They don't. Maybe some do. They're like, hey, that guy's advertising, and I'm gonna go ask him. But I think it's probably, I don't know, intimidating, because like I said, I've been putting it out. Hey, do something as simple as missive, or not the missive, the electronic treatises for the knowledge points. Hey, just send me that. I'll craft them. Something easy, nothing complicated with like blacksmithing or leatherworking or jewel crafting, where you have to tell them about procs and percentages and this. No, I'm just making treatises. Send me the fucking order, and I'll fulfill it. Send me whatever you fucking want, right? Just send them. I get nobody, not until this day, have I gotten an order via that method. Now, if somebody says, hey, I need my missive for, I don't know, inscription, and I have to text them, hey, I even, somebody mentioned it was like, doing customer service, and it's really true. It really is a customer service. So, me being from a extensive customer service background back in my youth, I always say, I whisper them and I tell them, have you been helped yet? Like if somebody's walked into my store, and they're just looking around and like, hey, I need a phone and or whatever, right? And I'm like, yeah, hey, have you been helped? Oh yeah, hey, I'm looking for a bow of the hunters. Can you craft it 392? Oh sure, let me check over here. I think I got I think I have a few here back in the storage room or something. I don't know, something to that effect. But that's how I get been getting orders, and they always ask how much you want. And I've been like, hey, send me 10K and I'll do it. Like especially for like, specialty crafts, something I've really poured into. If not, now I've gone to be like, hey, you know what? Send me what you can spare, because honestly, for some reason, I don't know why, but most of y'all are fucking broke. You're fucking broke, people, man. You're like, I tell them, yeah, I don't know, it's 10K. He's like, ooh, that's a lot of gold. And the person's all like, yeah, I got 4K. I don't know if they're fucking scamming me or they're lying, but you know what? 4K gold is 4K gold. I'm like, just send the fucking thing, and I'll put it in, right? But as far as like those treatises, I'm like, whatever you want. I don't care really. Of course, if they send me 5 gold, I'll be like, motherfucker. But if they send me like 500 or 1,000, I'm like, thank you. That's nice. That really feels nice. And it just comes down to like, if the WoW player base is nice and they want to feel like at ease with their conscience or whatever, their e-conscience, and so send somebody a nice tip. Speaking of which, I had a random. I was doing my engineering and I had a random public order post, and it was for 10K, and I'm like, oh, thank you, Jesus, thank you, something really good. I would have taken 1,000 easy for that wrist craft, but I think the reason why it was 10K and was because they wanted a whole bunch of stuff on it, and unless you have everything unlocked in that, like for the wrists, like all the way, and then all the other secondaries, right? You can't craft it. It won't let you craft it, even if it's a public order. So I had it, and I took that 10K. It was like 95.50 or something after their stupid cut from the consortium, and I was happy. I was like, man, this is making bank. So basically, to cut it short, you now it's no longer it's as profitable to harvest, to be gathering, mining, skinning, or herbing. If you want to make maybe for an hour, sit there in trade chat and try and fish these people out from trade and just talk to them and say, hey, have you been helped? Have you gotten the item that you want? Or sometimes I just wish to them, send it, and they just send it, or I just tell them I got you, or I can make it, and then they'll, it opens up the conversation to be like, what do you want? What are you looking for? So, and most of the people are nice. I think I say a little more than half, pretty chill. You do get like the awkward people that just don't say anything. They'll just link what they want, right? Like, hey, have you held it? And they'll just link, on the item, and and then the item level. You're like, okay, I can do it, and they just send, and you don't say a word, right? They just kind of like you're doing a shady deal, like you're dealing drugs. Like, yeah, you got the white stuff. or they just say white stuff. They just slip you like 100 or whatever. I don't know how much fucking drugs cost. So $20, I don't know. And you just, quick transaction here, boom, bing, bang, boom, and that's it, right? So, I've made a decent amount of money versus what I probably could have been making gathering. So that's been a bit of a switcheroo. Now, the cool thing about that is that if your profession has like reagents that you can make, you can be just crafting those reagents and then putting them on the auction house. And then, while you're cancel scanning or whatever, you glance over and you see, if anybody in chat and trade, if anybody needs something crafted, and then you can do that in between. It can get really boring because sometimes like your stuff is not selling on the auction house. Like for instance, my engineering, I do like what are these called? The arc lights and all these other reagents, right? Stuff that I can post. The zap throttles, which funny enough, have been a nice little workhorse. Giving me about 1,000 a piece. I only sell maybe a few a day, but a little workhorse that just keeps on giving. And so it'll be there, and then nobody's there's a point where like there's nobody asking for crafts or anything, and you're just seeing like, man, this is boring. So I on my second monitor, I put on sports, or I put some other stuff, or anything else that I need to be doing, just regular wise, and I can find a way to make some gold there, here and there. So that's that point. Another way you can find to make some gold is actually getting the add-on Craft Sim. Now, I'm gonna say I don't trust Craft Sim 100% like I used to do TSM. Unfortunately, Trade Skill Master has just shit the bed basically. I can't even trust it for the like real-time prices, like for the tooltip. I find that sometimes it's maybe I don't have it optimized. I'm not the biggest TSM optimizer, but I used to like it before because the information was relatively in real time, right? And I could make a snap judgment like whether or not to buy something, or good information. But I have found that if I want to make anything, because I have all professions, I did them all. Actually, I got my achievement for mastering of the Dragon Isles, or Draconic Master of whatever, getting all my professions to 100. And Craft Sim, you just go one by one, item by item that you can make, and you have this little square in the bottom that will tell you whether it's profitable or not. And so I tried to find the juicier parts. Now, let's say for instance for engineering, a lot of like the Servite bolts and all the small little minutia things, they go into the bigger ones. They have a profit, but it's rather small. So what I do is I craft all of those and then put those into the ones that have the bigger margins, right? Like I'm rolling in all of that profit into the other item so that I can, get more out of that. At least I think that's a method. I don't know. I might be making a complete big mistake, but I'm like, okay, I can do all these Servite bolts and get, I don't know, 40 silver for crafting them, or I can put them into this other product where, I'm saving that 40 silver and making something that'll get me 100 gold, right? Like the arc lights or the other, no, what was the other one? The mainframes, right? The mainframe gear, whatever, man, weird ass names that could get me more gold. So that's what I've been doing with Craft Sim, just looking to see what are the items that I can craft. Right, and like I said, you're not gonna be making tons of gold. You're gonna be making, profits of, 10 gold, 20 gold, 50 gold, 100 gold, right? Even for like my tailor that makes the bolts, the Azure Weave and the Chronocoth. I'm lucky if I get 150 to craft per bolt, and that's all basically I'm looking for. Just making hundreds and then possibly thousands, and hopefully by the end of the month, 100,000, maybe 200,000 of making gold that way, as far as crafting goes. And then between just making those work orders, hey, hopefully I get 5,000 here, 10,000 there, 8,000 here, 2,000 here, and it just adds up, right? As far as golding goes. But the point of it is the craft sim helps you find those little things that are profitable at that point. And with that said, we're going into my next point, which is hit it and quit it. Here's the thing. I've been burned severely when I use craft sim and it tells me, oh, this market is good. You can make, let's say, 100 gold per craft. And I even take the time to go to Orbos Exchange and be like, okay, is this normal, profit? Has it been fluctuating around that 100 gold mark? Yes, it has. Okay, cool. Well, I think I'll be able to do that for, the next few hours. So I stock up, right? I stock up a whole bunch of materials and I start making batches and I post them and they sell. And I post them and they sell. And I post them and they sell. But then every once in a while, these markets will just take a friggin' nosedive. Just, and all of a sudden, the thing that was profitable that last hour has suddenly become unprofitable. I don't know how this thing happens. It just happens. Now I'm stuck with material that I am selling at a loss just to liquidate the inventory. And I think, now that I think about it, maybe that's what happens with a lot of these people that find that they have materials in their bags and now it's less than what they were crafting, I don't know, the day before, and they just craft it and they just sell it and they tank, that particular market. I think that might be what it's happening. And all of a sudden I get stuck into that. So now what I've done, it's like these mini micro batches. If I can see the average of how many are sold like for the day, and then I kind of like parse it into the hour. And that's what I'm going to focus on. But let's say, I don't know, let's just pick something out of the air. Ink, cosmic ink. Let's just say 10,000 of them are sold in a day, right? 10,000 are sold in a day. So then I kind of just quick math. I'd be like, okay, so about 500 get sold every hour. So that's what I'll go for, right? Just some quick math, just like divided by 24. Whatever that number is, that's what my goal is to craft, right? Obviously, if these markets are like very low, usually they're not volatile, but the high volume ones are the ones that I find more volatility. So I'll just see about what I can craft that will sell within the hour and just hit it and quit it. And then I'll go to something else on my scribe or my blacksmith or my leather worker. I'll jump around and then just finding these markets. It's work. Like I said, if this one will partake into, it's finding these markets. It's not easy, but if it's your purpose to find profits, you're gonna have to do like the things that I've been saying, these points up until now. And another one would be this one, which is hit it and quit it. Okay, on my next point, there is something I used to do back in Shadowlands that I have found somewhat what's the word? Oh, I forgot the word. Success. Success is the word that I found success. And what I called it, I don't know if it's the name is appropriate, but it was called a material hedge. Basically, like let's say for Shadowlands, hopefully you're familiar with this, but let's say I needed what was it? What was the material? Lacerite. Okay, so lacerite used to be hovering around, I don't know, it was around 5 gold, right? 5 gold. So I needed it continually, and then I didn't have, enough gold to like buy it in big bulks or whatever. So what I would do is I would make like a mini wall. So let's say it was at 4 gold, 5 gold. I would buy it at that price, but instead of holding it in my bags, I would put it at, I don't know, let's say 10 gold, right? I'd buy a bunch that I would be continually using, and I would put it at the 10 gold mark, and it would make like this wall, right? Because there was a lot of people that their only way of making any gold is flipping. They just love flipping. They love resetting markets. That's what they do. And in Shadowlands, I actually made a lot of gold off of these people. The one place where I did a lot of gold was in herbs. Flasks were really big in Shadowlands, and these prices would come down, and these people would want to be able to sell their flasks at higher rates. So what they would do is they would target the herbs, jack them up, right? Buy them up, reset them, and then sell the flasks for the higher price that they wanted, right? And then eventually the price would go down because these resets, they don't last long. They last very little, and eventually, once people get accustomed, let's say for instance, they were paying 10 gold for an herb. If the herb suddenly goes to 100, people will not buy it. They refuse to buy it. And then some people only the people that will buy it at 100 are the ones that are really necessitated, or they have to get it for whatever reason. But 99% of the people will not buy it, right? So it's these very small profits that these people will get from the few sales that, will pay the 100 gold price because they have gold, whatever it may be. They don't care. They just have to have the herb. They'll buy it. And then quickly it'll start dropping them because other people, they want to sell their stuff, and they'll start to tank it back. They'll start to tank it back to what it was, which was somewhere around 10 gold. People will start buying it. Let's say it was at 10 and they jacked it up to 100. Let's say it was at 20. You'll start to get people to buy it, but eventually it'll drop down to 17, 10. Maybe it'll reset to like about 12, 13, right? And that's kind of where it will stay until eventually it goes back to 10. So what I would do is I would buy a bunch of that material. Let's say I was in flasks. I would buy a bunch of that herb at 10, and I would put a nice little wall, let's say around minimum double. I usually kind of wanted to double my money. So I said, if one of these goblins comes by and they want to reset a market, well, they gotta buy me out, right? So I would put like these little walls at 20, 30, maybe 40. Because I didn't really inspect them. Because if the walls are too big, they'll definitely not reset them. It'll be too much gold. So I'm like, okay, I'm either going to make profit by selling these things that go into my flasks at that price, and that way I can, have less volatility, that I'll be able to buy my herbs at 10. But if somebody comes in and wants to reset the market, be my guest. Buy out all my material, and I'm making money either way. Probably maybe even more if the wall is significantly bigger, and the reset goes up significantly higher, and I would still have some left over. Oh boy. And I'm back. Holy moly, I must be ranting for like forever. This video is gonna be long, but hopefully, if you enjoy it, then go ahead. The other people, they can fuck off, right? Okay, so where was I? Okay, this material hedge thing, right? So, put the hedge there. If they buy it, you still make profit. Now, I've done that a couple times, and it has worked those couple times. But honestly, Dragonflight with these whole different materials, it's too much. But yeah, sometimes you can do it. You can pull it off. To at least, mitigate the volatility, because this market has been very volatile, like I said. But if it's a market that you really want to be in, and you want to reduce the volatility and probably profit off these people that they need to make profits and they have to reset these markets, or they want to do this and that, then they can do it and you can profit off of them. So that's basically it. Okay, here's another little point which many people have said before, and that is having your alt army. Now, a lot of them will tell you it's the reason why you want to have your alts in Dragonflight is so you can do the world quests of the racing ones, which give you like 500 and change gold, and every so often you'll find other ones that give you like 600, 700, 800 gold. That's fine, do those. But the ones I want to tell you about is this marvelous little thing that I don't know why people are actually buying, but it's selling, and that is, hold on, let me look up the name because I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's called the flavor packet. Hold on, give me a second. Okay, here we go. I found it. It's called the Alchemical Flavor Pocket. Now, I didn't know. I had known about this, but I never really knew where it came from. I only knew it was like hell expensive. Currently, it's going for around 60,000 per, right? It didn't happen until I was doing one of these feats because I was looking to boost up my renown with the Iskar that I hadn't seen before. But this little kid Tuskar, he has a weekly quest where you get this little pot, right? And in this pot, the loot table, it has this alchemical flavor pocket. And the thing was that I was like, oh, cool. I was like, whoa, should I use it on myself, for my main? And I'm like, hell no, because I read it. I'm like, and it says, provides the following property: increased duration of well-fed from Dragonflight's meals by 100%, and now they persist through death. And I was like, wait a minute. This is probably only for, like, maybe raiders. I'm like, this thing is selling for 60K. Food is hella cheap. Just think of all the food you can buy with 60K. That will probably even be more than this, 100% and duration through death. I'm like, this is probably only for like people that, and even then, if you die in like a dungeon or whatever, you suck. No, I mean, how much does food have to cost where it's gonna go past the 60,000? Anyways, the thing is that I decided that week, oh, you know what? I had a whole bunch of alts. The only ones I was really playing was my main and my main alt, and then the other two for the professions. I would just, I don't play them. It's just for the professions, right? But then I have like another 5. I have another 5 on another realm that I'm trying to get them off that realm because I hate that server. But but I was like, hey, wait a minute, I'm just gonna get them to Dragonflight. I'm gonna get them down to the Iskars, where they do the soup, and I'm gonna do them weekly. That very first week, I don't know if I was lucky or not, or it was RNG's, who knows. I got 3 of those suckers, and then this week I got 1 more. So honestly, 200,000 of what I've done in this week is just from these stupid little flavor packets from my alts. So yes, you got your alts. Go do all the the races if you want, and you want to spend the time doing that. Fine. You want to pick up a couple of world quests. That's fine. But honestly, if you have a lot of alts, just park them at the Iskar soup thingy, event thing every week, and have a chance of getting one of these alchemical flavor pockets and sell it. Sell it while you can. These things, they go for, right now they're going for 60. I think I sold mine for like around 55. But the price has been pretty much stable for the past. I mean, let's see, this was back in February. Holy cow, they were going for 85, 86, and then they kind of dropped to 68, 60, 66. They kind of dropped to 55. That's where I kind of sold it. And then now they're back up to 60. No, they're at 60. They went up to 65, and now they're at 60. So I was like, holy cow. Instead of me running around doing all these races and these world maps, screw that. Just park them at the fucking the cooking station there, the cooking community event. And if they get lucky, they get lucky. If not, screw them. With 1, I just get like a ton of stuff that I could have spent time getting world quests and races and all this other stuff. 1 chemical packet. I'm like, do I want to? No, just sell it. So there you go. Yeah, you can definitely make money in Dragonflight. Still, despite its many failures and just problems with professions in general, it's a love-hate thing right now. I've never hated professions the most in my life in playing WoW. I hate them. I really do. But it's just that itch that I gotta get to make some gold. And I'm finding, if any, very little satisfaction. It's just enough to keep me going. Selling a zap throttle here or there. Selling some chassis. Selling a few things. And those little morsels of 50, 100 gold. Well, as long as I see the thing going up and up and up, I'm happy. Because what I was really unhappy is losing gold. But now that I'm done testing markets, the volatility is basically it's still there, but it's a lot lower. And I've been doing some of this customer service. Hey, I've been making some gold, so I'm like, you can do it. But it's gonna take effort. It's not like before where you could make tons of gold. And oh my god, something that it pisses me off. You probably know who it is, but I have a problem with people saying, "Oh, I love Dragonflight Professions. They're so great and intricate, and all these little things you have to do in your quests and your knowledge and all this different branches is all so good." But because I never want to go back to Shadowlands. I never want to go back to legendaries. You motherfucker! You made hundreds of millions of gold when you were scrounging around with a gold cap or two, making gold, and then you hit this jackpot, right? Of making hundreds, if not more, millions of gold with fucking legendaries, and now you're like, oh, I never want to come. What the fuck? So then what happened to all that gold? Are you gonna give it away? Is it for charity? Why were you then partaking in it? You were just, oh, I'm sorry. I can't help it. These millions of gold just keep flooding into my pockets, Oh, now that you have, half a million, what is it now? Yeah, half a billion gold. Oh, now you're fine? Now you really don't care if you want to make gold? Or even, give tips or whatever. It's like, okay, so now that you're rich, what? Oh, now professions can be difficult. Now you like them? No. We still need those people that can really take advantage of all those millions and millions and millions and millions of gold to be made in Shadowlands. We still made a decent much, but we still want to make some more. We got the ERP sessions to pay for. Anyways, that was my only bonus little rant there. Oh my god. Oh my god. Anyways, I just want to say in the ending, Jesus Christ, man, thank you so much for the support. After the last video, I thought, oh my god, these people are gonna be like, man, this guy sucks. He's not gonna make gold making videos anymore. Well, actually, I follow him. I'm just gonna unsub. I was really dreading it. Honestly, I was really dreading it. Even though I was telling myself, I'm gonna care, and I'm gonna care, and yeah, in the end, I don't care, but still a little piece of my back of my voice was like, oh my god, people are gonna subscribe and they're gonna give you mean comments and everything, but no, man, you guys have been tremendous, and if you're all the way to this end of this video, which honestly I probably think I've been rambling on for an hour, thank you so much. I have been flirting with the idea of streaming like a few hours every day, because that's basically all I do when I get home. I just play WoW and do all these stupid quests and for professions. But I don't know. I don't know if I should do it. I'm kind of waiting for a little more people, and there's other things that are bouncing around in my life. But I'm like, man, I wish I could just talk to people all the time, and also want to make that Discord and talk to people there and little things I want to do and improve, but that's probably for another video. Anyways, speaking of another video, I kind of want to make a little revamp of my predictions for the professions of the ranking, because I think there's a lot of interesting things that I want to say about my predictions and where they are, these professions where they are now, or basically what I think about them. Anyways, hey guys, thanks so much again. It's been amazing. I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.